welcome all that you on Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tata Jayamudire Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Hare Krishna. So we will continue today from Canto 1, Chapter 9, Shloka number 39 onwards. You can repeat after me, Mataji. विजय रथ कुटुंब आततोत्रे धृतः रश्मिनी तच्छ्रिये इक्षणीये भगवती रतिः तु मे मुमूर्षः यम इह निरीक्ष्य हतागतः स्वरूपम् विजय रथ कुटुंबे आततोत्रे धृत है रश्मिनी तच्छ्रिय इक्षणीये
धृत है
भगवती रतिः तु मे मुमूर्षः
भगवती रति अस्तु मे मुमूर्षः
यम इह निरीक्ष्य हतः गतः स्वरूपम्
यम इह निरीक्ष्य हतः गतः स्वरूपम्
विजयरथ कुटुंब आततोत्रे
विजयरथ कुटुंब आततोत्रे
धृत है रश्मिनी तत्क्ष्रिये इक्षणीये
धृत है रश्मिने तच्छ्रिय इक्षणीये
भगवती रतिः तु मे मुमूर्षः
भगवती रति तु मे मुमूर्षः
यम इह निरीक्ष्य हताः गताः स्वरूपम्
यम इह निरीक्ष्य हतः गतः स्वरूपम्
प्लीज रीड फुल
विजयरथ कुटुंब अततोत्रे धृतहय रश्मिनी तच्छ्रिये इक्षणीये भगवती रति तु मे मूर्षः यम इह निरीक्ष्य हता गता स्वरूपम्
विजयरथ कुटुंब आततोत्रे धृत है रश्मिनी तत्प्रिय इक्षणीये भगवती रतिः तु मे मुमूर्षः यम इह निरीक्ष्य हतागतः स्वरूपम् हरे कृष्ण कृपामयी सीता देवी माता जी कैन यू प्लीज रीड आशीष प्रभु जी कैन यू प्लीज रीड
विजय रथ कुटुंब अततोत्रे धृतहया रश्मिनी तच्छ्रियक्षणीये भगवती रतिरस्तु मे मुमुर्षोर् यम इह निरीक्ष्य हत गत स्वरूपम् हरे कृष्ण
हरे कृष्ण कृपामयी सीता देवी माता जी वुड यू लाइक टू रीड वंस ओके translation and purport yes Prabhu. Yes Mataji please read
विजयरथ कुटुंब अततोत्रे दत्ताहय रश्मिनी तच्छ्रिये भगवती रतिरस्तु मे मुमूर्षोर् यम इह निरीक्ष्य हत गतः स्वरूपम्
Hari Bol.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Mataji, you were sounding little breathless. Everything okay with you?
No, okay, Mahaprabhuji. I was running, I was walking. I want to read the slogan, no, that's it.
Oh,
Thank
Hari
you,
Bol.
Prabhuji.
Please
Thank you,
do
give me the
take care.
chance to read.
Yeah.
Thank
Hare
you, thank
Krishna.
you, thank you.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. At the moment of death, let my ultimate attraction be to Śrī Kṛṣṇa, the personality of Godhead. I concentrate my mind upon the chariot driver of Arjuna, who stood with a whip in his right hand and a bridle rope in his left, who was very careful to give protection to Arjuna's chariot by all means. Those who saw him on the battlefield of Kurukṣetra attained their original forms after death. Purport.
Purport by the Srila Prabhupada, Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada, CJ. The pure duty of the Lord constantly sees the presence of the Lord within himself because of being transcendentally related by the loving service, which such a pure devotee cannot forget the Lord for a moment. This is called trance. The mystic A yogi tries to concentrate upon the super soul by controlling the senses from all other engagement, and thus he ultimately attains samadhi. A devotee more easily attains samadhi or trance by constantly remembering the Lord's personal feature along with his holy name, fame, pastimes, etc. Therefore, the concentration of the mystic yogi and that of the devotee are not on the same level. The concentration of the mystic is mechanical, whereas that of the pure devotee is natural and pure love and spontaneous affection. Bhishma Dev.
Was a pure devotee. Bhishmadev was a pure devotee, and as a military marshal, he constantly remembered the battlefield feature of the Lord as Parthasarthi, the chariot driver of Arjuna. Therefore, the Lord's pastime as Parthasarthi is also eternal. The pastimes of the Lord, beginning from his birth at the prison house of Kaunsa up to the Maushal Leela at the end, all move one after another in all the universes, just as the clock hand moves from one point to another. And in such pastimes, his associates like the Pandavas and Bhishma are constant eternal companions. So Bhishma Dev never forgot the beautiful feature of the Lord as Parthasarthi, which even Arjuna could not see. Arjuna was behind the beautiful Parthasarthi, while Bhishma Dev was just in front of the Lord. As far as the military feature of the Lord is concerned, Bhishma Dev observed this with more relish than Arjuna. All the soldiers and persons on the battlefield of Kurukṣetra attain their original spiritual form like the Lord after their death, because by the causeless mercy of the Lord they were able to see him face to face on that occasion. The conditioned souls rotating in the evolutionary cycle from the aquatics up to the form of Brahma are all in the form of Maya, or the form obtained by one's own actions and awarded by material nature. The material forms of the conditioned souls are all foreign races, and when the conditioned soul becomes liberated from the clutches of material energy, he attains his original form. The impersonalists wants to attain the impersonal Brahman effulgence of the Lord, but that is not at all congenial to the living sparks, parts and parcels of the Lord. Therefore, the impersonalists again fall down and get material forms, which are all false to the spirit soul. A spiritual form, like the Lord's, either two-handed or four-handed, is attained by the devotees of the Lord either in the Vaikunthas or in the Golok planet, according to the original nature of the soul. This form, which is cent percent spiritual, is the svarupa of the living being, and all the living beings who participated on the battlefield of Kurukṣetra on both sides attained their svarupa as confirmed by Bhishmadev. So Lord Shri Krishna was not merciful only to the Pandavas, he was also merciful to the other parties because all of them attained the same result. Bhishmadev wanted the same facility also, and that was his prayer to the Lord. Although his position as an associate of the Lord is assured in all circumstances, the conclusion is that whoever dies looking on the personality of Godhead within or without attains his svarupya, which is the highest perfection of life. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnanan. I really apologize. I think we'll be having these issues with connectivity. I'm traveling in train. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So, we are looking at this shloka number from ninth chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto first, shloka number 39. So, we are seeing that Bhishmadev is now about to leave his body, and then he is telling all the reasons he has why he is going to concentrate upon Krishna, why he wants to look at Krishna and leave his body. So the multiple, what I'll say, reasons which he is giving is continuing with that. Yesterday we saw how he found the appearance of Krishna who was bleeding because of the wounds which he had suffered at the hand of Bhishmadev, and he was running with the wheel of the chariot in his hands, about to strike Bhishmadev. And Bhishmadev, he was so happy that he was going to get death at the hands of his worshipable Lord. So he was ready to accept it. But then the battle stopped as the sun set. And that is where that appearance of Lord was always ingrained in his heart. And he found it so very beautiful that he is narrating it to Yudhishthir Maharaj. And then he's telling further, not only that, he wants his mind to concentrate upon the Parthasarthi form of Krishna. Now, Krishna, he's saying, he is the ultimate attraction. He is the object of protection. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So we are seeing how the Parthasarthi form is something which also is very, very attractive. Now, Arjuna was one of the dearest friend of Krishna. And Krishna, he took side of Arjuna and always protecting Arjuna. The Virat roop, which is so very confidential, was shown to Arjuna by giving him the Divya Drushti by Krishna. But yet, Arjuna was not able to see one of the best forms of Krishna, which Bhishma Dev could see. And that was the Parthasarthi form. And it is this form which is being explained here in this particular shloka by Bhishma Dev. So he says that Krishna is the ultimate attraction for everyone. And in any case, Krishna means Sarvaha Akarshayati iti Krishna. So not only Sarva Akarshayati, he is the Sarvottama Akarshayati. He is the ultimate attraction. And so he wants that at the time of his death, his mind should be fixed on Krishna. And he is now talking about the Parthasarthi form. Partha is Arjuna and Sarthi is the chariot driver. So how was this form? Arjuna was standing on the chariot, on the rath, and here Krishna, he was standing with a whip in his right hand, and he was catching all the horses, the bridle ropes in his left hand. So it was something like all the horses were captured by him with the left hand, and he had a bridle rope on his right hand. So it is this form he is talking about. And in this form, he was being very, very careful to give protection to Arjuna's chariot by all means. And this form was seen by everyone on the battlefield of Kurukṣetra. But only those who were the opposite party, not those who were fighting on behalf of Arjuna or the Pandavas. And this was so transcendental. So pure devotee, he wants to constantly see the presence of Krishna within himself because he is transcendently related to Krishna by loving service. So pure devotee cannot forget Krishna even for a moment. And this is sometimes called as trance. The mystic yogis, they try to concentrate upon the Paramatma in the heart. They control all the senses. They try to avoid all engagements. And by simply concentrating, meditating, they try to attain samādhi. So it is said that a devotee can attain samādhi more easily than even a yogi. Because for him, what is required is just has to remember the Lord's personal feature along with his holy name, his fame, his pastimes, his leelas. And that is why being a devotee is much, much easier, much, much better as compared to being a yogi. The concentration of the mystic yogi can get disturbed, while that of the devotee, he is only doing remembrance of Krishna. So nothing can disturb remembrance of our beloved. Does it happen? No. So concentration of mystic is mechanical, while that of a devotee, it's natural in pure love, spontaneous affection. Just like a child who is staying away from his parents, maybe in school or for some other reasons, he is always looking and longing for his parents. Similarly, the devotee, he is always longing for his father, that is Krishna. Because Krishna finally is Parampita Parameshwara. Bhishmadeva was a pure devotee. And so, since he was on the other side, he could constantly remember the Parthasarathi form, the battlefield feature of the Lord, as the carrier driver of Arjuna. So, this Parthasarathi Leela of Krishna is also something which is eternal Leela. And this is something which was very, very special because even Arjuna could not see it. The beautiful form of Parthasarathi, because he was behind, while everyone who was on the opposite side could see it. And that is why even those who were fighting against Krishna, they also got the mercy of Krishna. In fact, it is said that everyone attained their original svarupa, the spiritual form, after the death, because causeless mercy of the Lord. That at the time of death, they were able to see Krishna face to face. So everyone who is actually rotating in this cycle of repeated birth, old age, disease, and death, the evolutionary cycle, aquatics, up to the form of Brahma, all of them, for them, they are all disturbed by Maya, controlled by Maya, and they are one whose actions that controlled and effects and efforts are avoided by material nature. So the dresses, they act like just dresses, the different kinds of bodies. But then the conditioned soul can become liberated from the clutches of material energy and it can attain the original form, just like those warriors on the battlefield of Kurukṣetra who attained their original spiritual form when they left their body with Krishna in front of them. And what is the original form? The original form is spiritual. We are all spirit souls. A spiritual form is like the Lord's. Either it can be two-handed or four-handed. So, depending upon the extent of devotional service that we have executed, we can either end up in Vaikuntha or in the Golok planet, depending upon the original nature of the soul. But those who are pure devotees of the Lord, they do not want to go even to the Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha means the place where there is no Kuntha. Where no Kuntha, Kuntha is anxiety. So the place with no anxiety is Vaikuntha. While what we are here actually is a place full of anxieties. Anxieties for studies, anxiety for exams, anxiety for parents, anxiety for children, anxiety for relatives, anxiety for friends, anxiety for neighbors, anxiety for enemies. Anxiety, anxiety, anxiety. The whole life is full of anxiety. And that is why we are never happy. And this world is called as Dukkhalayam Ashashvatam. But the spiritual form is something where we reach Vaikuntha, the place where there is no anxiety. And even beyond Vaikuntha is the Goloka form, the Golok Vrindavan, where Shri Krishna himself is residing, a place which is Satchit Ananda, a place which is eternal, which is full of bliss, which is giving everything that you ever required. So that spiritual form is something which can be obtained if we leave our body, if we accept that with Krishna being concentrated upon by our mind. And that is exactly what Bhishma Dev is asking. He had the benediction that he can leave his body as per his own desire. And now he is desiring that since Krishna is in front of him, he would like to leave the body so that he can get his svarupa, the original spiritual form. So Lord Krishna is not merciful only to the Pandavas, he was also merciful to the other parties because everyone attained the same result. Bhishmadev also wanted the same facility. And so this was his prayer to the Lord. Practically, if we see, his position as an associate of the Lord is assured in all circumstances. But then, still, if he is making such prayers, it is for making us, the fallen souls of Kali Yuga, understand the importance of remembering Krishna, especially at the time of death. The conclusion is that whoever dies looking on the personality of Godhead within or without attains his svarupa, which is the highest perfection of life. But then it is not so easy to remember something which you have not practiced. Even when we are giving different exams in our life, it's not so easy to give the exam if you have not studied for it. So, if you want to remember Krishna, it is very, very necessary that we study and practice how to remember Krishna, because it will not come automatically at all. And hence, in Kali Yuga, it is recommended that we should follow the system which is required in Kali Yuga. And what is that system? That is Harinam Sankirtan. And this is something which is mentioned in so many Upanishads. Kali Santaran Upanishad mentions it. Chaitanya Charitamrita also mentions it. Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Eva Kevalam. Kalau Nastaiva, Nastaiva, Nastaiva Gatiranyata. Look at the repetition. It is repeated thrice. So it is being stressed so much. So much importance is being given. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he came personally to make us understand how to remember Krishna in love, how to do the Sankirtana, how to chant the names of the holy names of the Lord and be successful in our life. We are very lucky that Srila Prabhupada has made it so easy for all of us. We just have to ensure that we are doing our 16 rounds chanting every day without fail. That is the most important part. Second is association, just like we are having right now on this Zoom meeting, wherein we all associate with each other. What we can do better is we associate many more people or our family members together, our neighbors together, and increase the association of the devotees. Third is reading of the scriptures. Just like we read Bhagavatam every day at 8 p.m., similarly, Bhagavad Gita. These two are least minimum scriptures that we should always study in our life, right from our childhood. Prahlad Maharaj says that as soon as you are 5 years old, you should study Bhagavad Gita. That is important. Next is ensuring that we eat only Krishna Prasad, nothing but Krishna Prasad. We should offer whatever we cook to Krishna and then eat it after Krishna has taken it. And we should be engaged in some kind of a service to the devotees, to Guru, to Krishna. So this ABCDE formula will ensure that we are able to do our 3S, which is sadhana, seva, and swadhyaya, and be successful in our ultimate objective of life, which is Krishna Prem. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.